In the next 30 minutes on Prime Business, Institute for Energy Security projects the price of diesel to see a slight reduction at the pumps from tomorrow, November 16, but LPG price will inch up by about 4%. Ahead will engage the LPG Marketers Association. Also, bulk oil distributors witness pickup in dollar supply from Bank of Ghana, a move expected to impact fuel prices in the coming weeks. Plus, Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications calls for reduction of e-levy rate to 0.1% to improve compliance. Details from the Chamber's 2021 Mobile Industry Transparency Initiative report.
Example and all of that is to reduce, the incidence of the tax per capita. So if you reduce that to like 1.1%, it's one for me. That's one of the.
Hello again, let's settle for the details now. All things being equal, the price of diesel may see a slight reduction at the pumps from tomorrow, November 16, 2022. The Institute for Energy Security has predicted. However, petrol will not witness any change in price, but the price of liquefied petroleum gas will rise by roughly 4%. Now, in a statement, the IES said the Institute for Energy Security recognizes the significant jump in the price of liquefied petroleum gas LPG on the international market, as well as the marginal stability in the local currency, and predicts that the price of the commodity on the local markets will rise by roughly 4%. The price of gasoline, though rising marginally on the international market, will not be enough to cause a price change domestically. As a result, the IES foresees some stability in the price of gasoline domestically. In IES's estimation, gas oil price per litre may see a slight reduction in response to the 10.11% fall in international gas oil price. The reduction is imminent should the bulk importers decide not to price in the recent forex losses they incurred, it explained. Meanwhile, the price of petroleum products could be going down again in the coming weeks. It follows what the bulk oil distribution companies describe as improved dollar supply and support from banks. George Riafe has the rest of the story.
The bulk oil distribution companies argued that the prediction is primarily based on improved dollar supply by the Bank of Ghana over the past 1 week. This is because one of the main drivers pushing prices of petroleum up over the past 3 weeks was mainly due to the city's depreciation and lack of dollar support coming from the regulator. Therefore, looking at the current development just over the past 2 weeks, then prices will at worst stay flat or could be reduced in the coming weeks. Another thing that was pushing prices up significantly was the inability of the most of the bulk oil distribution companies to secure support from the commercial banks to aid their imports. This indirectly pushed prices up on the market. However, following the decision by the Bank of Ghana to review what is called the single obligor limit, distributors believe that this will also impact on prices going.
That was a Business Desk report put together by George Riafe. Now, away from that, the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications has called for the reduction of the electronic levy, e-levy, from 1.5% to 0.1%. Speaking to the press at the launch of the Mobile Industry Transparency Initiative report for 2021, CEO of the Chamber, Ken Ashibe, said a reduction to 0.1% will make the tax affordable and encourage people to comply. There's more in the following report.
The Total Tax Contribution Report, which forms part of the Mobile Industry Transparency Initiative, analyzes taxes paid by telecoms operators and its impact on the industry and society. Bemoaning the overburdening of taxes on the telcos in Ghana, CEO of the Chamber, Ken Ashibe, called for the government to reduce the electronic levy, popularly known as e-levy, to 0.1%. According to him, the tax is retrogressive in nature and should be structured well to make it affordable and easy to pay.
And already, if you look at the fact that government had projected 6.9 billion, had to revise it to 600 and something million, and that has not happened. It's because the elasticity of demand for, the service is not elastic. So if you really want to let people, and the way we have structured e-levy is very regressive. It impacts the poor as high as impacts the rich. So if you really want people to be able to pay this, then they should not think about it when they are paying it. The only way to be able to do that, and there's empirical evidence to show in other areas, if you take the Tanzania example and all of that, is to reduce, the incidence of the tax per capita. So if you reduce that to like 1.1%, it's one for me. That's one of the things I've been pushing for.
Mr. Shibi added that the continuous taxation of the industry could create unemployment by causing job losses in the mobile money sector.
So then let's look at the issues of mobile financial services. 2021, there was no e-levy. There was no e-levy in 2021. So what we did was active customers at the close of the year, 17.9 million. Registered agents, active registered agents, 442,000. That are the number of people that have been employed by just the mobile financial services industry. And you know that when it comes to most of these agents, they are the ones that have been registered. But you have an agent that might have 1 or 2 or 3 other people who are working for them. So in terms of this number is really large. So when when you don't pay particular attention to it, you do things that impact them, you then exacerbate the unemployment situation in the country.
On the increment of data and talk tariffs, Mr. Shibi was quick to add that there could be increases in the near future considering the increase in cost of doing business.
If you consider the fact that the cost of doing business have gone up, even the Water Producers Association have met to increase the price of water. Even the market women have. I don't know the media. Have you increased your advertising cost? I'm pretty sure you have also increased it. So naturally, what is going to happen? The industry has to increase prices because the cost of doing business has gone up.
Total industry tax and other remittances paid by the telecommunication companies and other allied agencies to government for 2021 amounted to 4.3 billion cedis. This makes up 7.7% of government's total tax revenue. It is feared that continuously overburdening the industry with taxes could greatly affect their operations considering the high capital expenditure in the industry.
Now, players within the local pharmaceutical industry have indicated that the growth of the sector will be based on the scrapping of various nuisance taxes to reduce cost of operations. That's according to the Chief Executive Officer for NK Pharma, Albert Cranting. The industry has potential, hence the need for government and stakeholders to implement policies to cushion their operations. He spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the company.
At the launch, Chief Executive of NK Pharma bemoaned the rate at which some local pharmaceutical industries are unable to ensure sustainability. He, however, commended government efforts in supporting the sector, but called for more.
Well, the pharma industry has potential, no doubt, except that I hear there are strange taxes within the regime, the African or the Ghanaian, or within the ECOWAS community, which is not allowing people to expand. But apart from that, I think there's opportunity. Or this big opportunity is an industry which can create thousands of jobs. One of the things I think can be done is to stop importation. Okay, and produce locally. Once we are able to produce locally, my understanding in this market is that we are able to keep the little dollar we have internally, it stays within. So we should encourage people to produce locally. And I think that is the way to go. If we are able to produce, believe me, we will have lots of people, we will create jobs for people, we'll be able to maintain very good lifestyle in terms of health-wise. So I think that there's still a big opportunity.
According to a survey data collected by Shrek Bagwati, for total expenditure on health accounted for 5 to 7% of total GDP, but there has been an increase in this spending, and now it accounts for 11%, which is met by in-house tax collection and loans taken up from international financial institutions.
Now, as part of measures to address Ghana's youth unemployment challenge and build an entrepreneurial nation, the government has launched the Youth Start District Entrepreneurship Program and opened the Youth Start Ghana Jobs and Skills application portal to receive applications from potential beneficiaries of a 1 billion Ghana cedis Entrepreneurship Fund. The initiative seeks to create more jobs and supports the expansion and growth of Ghanaian businesses within the next 3 years. There's more in the following report.
Addressing the media at the launch of the Youth Start initiative, Chief Executive Officer for the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Kosi Yanke Aye, said she's poised to ensure the needs of youth entrepreneurs are met. She added that her outfit needs all hands on deck to make the initiative successful for Ghanaians.
This work is not a work about this or that, you or him or her. It's about how do we support our youth. Because I have cousins who don't have jobs. I need to make sure they have something to do. So the best way is to create these programs and work with them, and people benefit from it. So as much as possible, I need all of us to support us so that it's successful for Ghanaians. So people can go online and apply. We also have paper applications for those who might not be able to use the computer, because bear in mind, we're looking at people from BEC level.
Country Director for World Bank, Pierre-Frank Laporte, revealed that further engagement are ongoing to design other interventions to create decent jobs for the youth.
The World Bank Ghana Country Partnership Framework for 2022 to 2026 emphasizes on support for economic transformation with the creation of more quality jobs for youth through skills and entrepreneurial development, access to finance, investment climate reform, and quality infrastructure. Currently, the World Bank is working with the government on a new project that would support some aspects of the Youth Start program, following detailed consultations and design to improve the screening criteria and targeting of beneficiaries.
Delivering a speech on behalf of the Finance Minister, Deputy Minister of Finance John Kuma called for a concerted effort to find lasting solutions to the current economic challenges.
In outlining this policy agenda, I am not complacent about the challenges that confront us today. Indeed, in the last 5 years, as Minister of Finance, sometimes it feels like once you start to solve one problem, another emerges. So life is tough for many people all over the world, and Ghana is no different. But we and the fellow ministers gathered here today, under the President's direction, are more than committed to ensure that we come out of this together with one of the strongest and most resounded and most resourced youth this nation has ever seen. It will not be easy, but we need you to work with us, pray with us, and support us as we do same for you.
Some entrepreneurs who benefited from the pilot stage of the program shared their success stories.
They trained me. In the training, that was where I got to know how to write a business proposal, relate to customers, market, and that so many things. Again, they supported me with financially, and I've been able to buy a machine that will speed up my process. My special appeal is that you create a special package for the disabled women entrepreneurs and men, because we are the less privileged. So please, support us specially, aside from the able.
Now, the Deputy Chief Executive for the Ghana Exports Promotions Authority, Samuel Dentu, has said his outfit will continue to support chocolatiers to produce world-class chocolates that will penetrate markets in the world. He said this during a capacity-building training for various chocolatiers in the country organized by the Ghana Export Promotions Authority. He added that the capacity building training was geared at supporting the chocolatiers to produce the best chocolates in the world. Speaking to Joy Business, Samuel Dentu furthered that they expect to increase and promote chocolate consumptions in Ghana.
Export Promotion Authority, we have had various engagements with the chocolatiers. I think we call them Cocoa Value Addition Association of Ghana, COVAC, and we've been working with them. We started with the ACCE, which is a chocolate expo event that we've had about 2 years running. And this is to build the capacity. I think what most people don't know in the country is the fact that there is a budding group of chocolatiers, an emerging group of chocolatiers, and we can only add to their capacity to produce the best chocolate in the world. I've just come back from South Africa, where we had the opportunity to bundle chocolate and cocoa in an expo, and it was an amazing event. Ghanaian chocolates and the chocolatiers were embraced by, thousands of South Africans and people from the world. And we think that we can even do better, and that is the essence of this capacity building that is going on.
Scania West Africa, a leading automobile company, has launched its newest truck, known as the Buffalo, to its current fleet of trucks to help in the transportation of minerals of materials from in-pit mining to outbound haulage. The Buffalo is an off-road truck designed to ensure the optimal operational flow at every stage of mining cycle, while increasing efficiency per each ton of weight of material transported. Speaking at the unveiling of the truck, Managing Director of Scania West Africa, Johan Kola, said the truck will complement efforts in ensuring safe mining and responsible mining in the country.
Scania, we are very strong in mining in other parts of the world, and understanding that the mining sector for Ghana is so important. As mentioned, that when I met the Mining Commission, the CEO said that 1/5 of the population is involved in mining. And before coming here, I was not aware that Ghana is the biggest gold producer in Africa. I think it's the second biggest in the world, which means that for us it's an area where we believe that we can contribute. Of course, it's business for us, but we believe that we have a product that can help the customers and the mining sector become more efficient. And also from when we talk not only about the money part and efficiency, but also when it comes to the environmental part. With modern vehicles, you will have a less impact on the environment. And I think our colleague as well, or customer that was saying about the CNGs, that we can have this also for this. When we look on the mining industry as specifically, it is a very harsh environment. This truck will not work in the harshest environment, because then you might require all-wheel drive, very high ground clearance and so on. But for the mines that is more developed, you have a even road. With this truck, you have a payload that is equivalent of a yellow machine. We call it yellow machines. That's the articulated haulers, the bigger ones that are moving like this. And our fuel consumption is significantly lower. The purchase cost for the customer can be about half. Let's say the fuel consumption is half or 1/3 of a yellow machine.
Now to the agriculture sector, as the Manga Station of Savannah Agriculture Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research has developed and is set to release a new variety of cowpea to farmers in the Upper East region, known as transgenic Songrata or GN cowpea. It is genetically modified to be highly resistant to a cowpea pest known as Maruca. Here's a report by Joy News' Upper East Regional Correspondent Albert Sori.
The Manga Station of the Savannah Agriculture Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, located in the Binduri district of the Upper East region, previously released 3 varieties of improved cowpea known as Wankai, Kekhausbenga, and Songotra to farmers. These varieties were only traditionally improved and not genetically modified. Now, the institute is set to release a genetically modified cowpea known as transgenic Songotra or simply GM cowpea. This new cowpea variety is modified to be highly resistant to a stubborn cowpea pest known as maruca, but it also has other qualities. Dr. Salim Lamini is a research scientist at the Manga Station of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research.
Transgenic Songotra is virtually disease-free as compared to what you will see in some fields with the original Songotra. So apart from the maruca resistance, it's also quite resistant to other diseases like this smart leaf spot. Most of the time you will see that the farmers would spray in excess of 4 to 5 times before they can have any reliable yield, primarily due to maruca infestation. With this transgenic, you may just have to spray once or twice where it is necessary, then you still have very good yield.
Transgenic Songotra or GM cowpea is on field demonstration and the Savannah Agriculture Research Institute.
That's all for business. We have more business when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Beverly Broohm. Have a good evening.